Before I get into the crux of this video, I need to give a huge thank you to the elderly clown and the foxfucker. Without those two, no one would be watching this video right now. So make sure you check out Colossal is Crazy and Pyrocynical if somehow you didn't come from them in the first place, or came from one of them and didn't know about the other. I can't thank either of them enough, and I also can't thank all of you who subscribed enough. But without further ado, let's dig in. I feel like I should start off by saying that I wasn't gonna make this video, but Kiwi made the grave mistake of uploading a thank you video, which frankly sent me into a state of frustration and anger that I haven't felt since Lion Maker's Boast-a-thon described as a name clearing, so here we are. I realize this is the second one in a row, but I swear not all of my videos will focus on shit like this. It just so happens that it seems to be the current trend to want to fuck people who still take a yellow bus to school. Now, for those unfamiliar, like I was prior to last week, Kiwi is the director of Red Reserve, a group of Call of Duty players who seem focused on something called trickshotting, where you do some stupid camera moves with an intervention and then you kill people, I guess.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, Red KIWIZ, and I'm bringing you guys another episode of Red Hit Markers on the Red Reserve channel. Number 5, we got Nyx on Black Ops 2 on Studio. Never seen these clips before in my life. Oh shit.
I'm not gonna pretend to know about things that are completely lost on me, so hopefully I can convince you that what he does on YouTube is not really relevant to what we're talking about today. Upsetting as it is that I have to rely on good old Daniel here for more information, he's still the main person who has a foothold in YouTube news, which is possibly the saddest pair of words I've ever said out loud. He held an interview/debate/clusterfuck between himself, Kiwi, these guys called Nuda in general, who are in a similar group to Red Reserve called SOAR. I like to interrupt myself to say that none of this really matters, but, context. Most notably, the clusterfuck featured Jerica, a 14-year-old girl who Kiwi sent pictures of his dick to, and her mother. Now, luckily in this video, I can say for a fact that yes, Kiwi actually sent pictures of his dick to a minor because Kiwi says it himself. Now, Kiwi and Jerica have known each other for
probably for about a year and a half
now, and this was not the first instance of sexually explicit photos being shared between them. At the time that they met, Kiwi was 17 and Jerica was 12. However, according to Kiwi, Jerica
claimed she was 14, but I guess she lied, apparently.
Doesn't really make it better. Still well below the age of consent. The biggest problem with Kiwi's handling of the entire situation is that he's done 3 things throughout. The most notable one, unquestionably, is play the victim. Coming up close behind that is victim blaming in reference to Jerica. But somehow he had the audacity to lead off with playing the hero.
She said she was having personal issues, and we just talked for a while. And, one thing led to another. She started complimenting me, I complimented her. It was being a teenager. It's just, I was 17 at the time, and I understand she was 14 or 13, however old she was.
Well, a year and a half ago, she probably would have been 12 and a half.
What Kiwi is doing here is textbook, and the fact that it seems to have fooled so many people baffles me. He leads off by stating that she was in a bad place and that them complimenting each other made things better. He's quite the hero helping a girl out in her time of need, isn't he? He goes on to explain that she sent explicit pictures of herself first, but when asked to reciprocate, he
felt really uncomfortable because, of who I am and just everything. I felt really uncomfortable doing that, and she said that she could trust me, or I could trust her, and that nothing would happen. And I believed I could trust her, so...
This is Kiwi's first instance of both playing the victim and victim blaming, at least in my opinion. But if you disagree with that, I assure you there are plenty more instances that are borderline unarguable. However, I do feel the need to give Kiwi a bit of credit here. In this interview, his statement that she was the first one to send explicit photos is not refuted by anyone. But in the 2-minute video released by Jerica's mother, she stated that Kiwi had talked Jerica into sending pictures of herself and vice versa. This video was actually deleted before I could download it, but I wrote that part down verbatim. However, I understand if you discard this part, as my only evidence is gone. Now, I don't know if her mother simply didn't notice that Kiwi said that Jerica had sent pictures first, but I find it quite surprising that she wouldn't be hammering the pressuring point home if it was really the case. It doesn't excuse him, but it's worth noting that the information available here is definitely conflicting.
I know that I'm not the only one. There has been other people, like I have proof of other people. Jerica still talks to them to this day.
And here we go again with victim blaming, as well as shifting the blame. Look, I've read a tremendous amount of comments on both the Drama Alert episode and both of Kiwi's videos. Many of the people who are, let's call it on his side, seem to believe that he's not in the wrong because she instigated. Now, I can understand that outlook, I genuinely can, and to an extent, it's tempting to give him credit here. However, fuck that, I'm not going to, because right now, he's bringing in extraneous circumstances. The fact of the matter is, even if this girl, who I would like to remind you is 14 right now, did this for attention or had this same circumstance with others, it's irrelevant to what's happening with Kiwi. This is Kiwi redirecting the focus off of him, which frankly is incredibly similar to what Lionmaker did with Keemstar. We will revisit that thought shortly.
I'm not trying to blame her at all.
This is the point where the interview's neutrality goes completely out the window. Nuda in general enter the conversation, and Nuda, quite frankly, doesn't seem to have much of a grasp on the situation. The mother has claimed that Kiwi has done the same thing with other girls who may or may not be underage, and this information stems from Nuda. He starts off his point by recapping what we already know from earlier in the interview. He was contacted for assistance with the situation.
So I went to General, and I was like, okay, dude, you know, she came out to me, she told this to me, I don't know what to do, you know, I don't believe.
Right,
so.
I understand all this, but are there other girls?
Yeah. Now, other girls, yeah, when I was asking for advice, because I asked General and I asked if...
right, but are there other girls?
Yeah.
At this point, the claim of other girls seems debatable at best, as Nuda understandably opts not to name any, citing privacy, but doesn't offer any specifics. No amount of girls that this has happened with, clarity on whether or not they were underage, nothing. He also makes sure to assert his heterosexuality, just in case he was giving off some faggy vibes, I suppose.
You know, I'm not gonna have him send me dick pics, you know, I don't swing that way. You know, I'm not trying to see her shit, dude. And
here, Kiwi shoots himself in the foot yet again. When Keem brings up the fact that he received child pornography, Kiwi defends himself by saying that he hasn't saved any of the images. Problem there is that he's just admitted to receiving them, and willingly receiving child pornography in and of itself is considered a crime regardless of the age of the recipient, at least in most cases. He follows up this undeniable victory by, again, victim blaming.
And then you sent graphic pictures to a child, you know?
Yes, she asked for them, and it was a one-time thing, being a horny teenager with hormones, being stupid.
Okay, Kiwi clarifies that at this point in the story, he's still 17. Him, a minor at the time, and another minor were exchanging explicit images, so the legality of this whole thing is slightly murkier. Seeing as Kiwi is American, the punishment for minors distributing child porn to one another varies from state to state. For instance, in Florida, a minor can be charged with a non-criminal violation for a first-time offense, with criminal punishment only arriving with repeat offenses. Laws such as these, appropriately called sexting laws, are put in place to grant minors who receive child porn from other minors a bit of leeway. But there are no such laws in place in 17 out of the 50 United States. Seeing as I don't know where KIWIZ or Jessica live beyond the states somewhere, I can't say for certain what laws apply to either of them. If Kiwi lives in any of those 17 states, he would be considered a felon even at age 17. With that said, if Jerica lives in any of those states, she would be too, even at age 12. The system is not perfect, folks. And at this point, I understand why there's so much debate. A 17-year-old was flirting with who he thought was a 14-year-old, and they end up exchanging explicit photos. I personally still find this scummy, to say the least, as he's nearly an adult and she's barely a teenager, but in the eyes of the law, they're both minors. Okay, fair enough, there are decent arguments on each side of this fence, and if this is where the story ended, I would delve into each side. The biggest problem, and the most damning one, comes up here, 10.5 minutes into the interview, when the mother returns.
But it was a month ago.
Yeah, and a month ago on Snapchat, yes.
Okay, so a month ago you sent her a picture.
Yes.
And there it goes, folks. At least in my eyes, I do not see how anyone can defend him after this point. He is now openly admitted to sending a picture of his adult, trick-shotting cock to a minor in the last month. I can't say this for sure, but it seems that he would have never said anything about this recent incident if the mother hadn't mentioned it. There's no longer any ambiguity to me. Even if he didn't know her real age at that point, which I find doubtful, that doesn't excuse him. The girl is 14 now, and Kiwi is 19. Now, Kiwi keeps saying, but she lied about her age, but she lied about being 2 years older, meaning her lied age is 16. Kiwi is still 19. But she lied about her age. It doesn't matter. Her lied age is illegal. Now, does that opinion sound reasonable to you? Hopefully yes, but I won't make any assumptions. Would you believe me if I told you that I ripped that opinion verbatim from Keemstar's mouth, only removing one very small portion at the end?
Okay, so the girl is 14 now, and KIWIZ is 19. Now, Kiwi keeps saying, but she lied about her age. But she lied about being 2 years older, meaning her lied age is 16. KIWIZ is still 19, but she lied about her age. It doesn't matter. Her lied age is illegal. How stupid are you fucking spinners?
This is where Keem pisses me off more than anything, because even when he has a valid, well-thought-out opinion, he goes about expressing it like a complete cunt. But I agree with him, if not his presentation, and I think many others do too. So how is Kiwi gonna come back from this?
But the thing, I was in a really, depressed state. She was talking to me, she kept on saying how she was saying how she was so attached to me.
Keemstar's reactions are flawless for me here because I feel exactly the same way. So now not only is Kiwi playing victim like a pro, and I must give him credit where it's due, he's very good at it, but now he's blaming a mental illness. He's blaming depression, everyone. We've stooped to that point where we're gonna pretend that being sad, or even genuinely being depressed, is an excuse for sending your cock to a minor. How did people buy into this?
She does talk to a lot more people than just me.
And then he shifts the focus again. This argument is not valid. I see a lot of people saying that the girl is the aggressor here, that she flirted with these people with malicious intent or to get attention or whatever it may be. But the fact of the matter is that her intentions aren't relevant. Kiwi sent a photo of his penis to a girl he knew was a minor. When he was 17, the case was slightly cracked open. Now it's melded shut. Jerica enters the call shortly after this and questions his claim to depression.
I told you about some things about me being possibly bipolar. Are you just like gaining that from like something that I said earlier, or are you really depressed?
No, like I'm not depressed now, but I had something going on in my life at the time.
Again, not an excuse. Now, some of you might still be fuming that I compared Kiwi to Lion Maker earlier, but he actually made the comparison first, although it's quite different from the comparison I'm about to make.
It's not like I'm friggin' 30 talking to like 10-year-old, like dude, like these people like Lion Maker going out there like doing some crazy stuff. Like I would not call myself a pedophile. I would not call myself like a sex offender or anything. Like,
I hate to break it to you, but the law would. We need to look at the facts and only the facts when comparing these two. Lion Maker received explicit photos of a minor, and these images were published by his Twitter account. We know that. The other claims that he asked for additional photos from other minors, including offering payment for said photos, has not quite been proven to my knowledge, nor has it been proven that he was actually the person behind the images posted. Again, he probably did, but we're sticking to facts here. Kiwi both received explicit photos from a minor and sent explicit photos of himself to a minor while being a legal adult. That shit's illegal. No ifs, no ands, no buts. In fact, both Jerica and Keemstar say this exact same thing.
That's still a problem because you're 18 and I'm a minor, so don't act
but you,
like...
He's 19.
Jerica, you constantly would tell me that age is not an issue. I would tell you age is kind of weird. Like, it's kind of weird. And you would say,
but the problem is, Kiwi, is like one person's an adult and they have to know better, and it doesn't matter what the kid says.
I have to agree with Keem again. Kiwi is the adult, and it genuinely doesn't matter what Jerica said. I understand that Kiwi probably feels betrayed, and I can sympathize with that, but frankly, he comes across more like he's going for damage control rather than a genuine apology. And he's clearly trying to manipulate the situation to push the blame on Jerica, who, need I remind you, is only 14 and was 12 when this started. Assuming that you, the viewer, are older than 12, which my analytics tell me is likely, think back to when you were 12. Were you smart? Did you act impulsively? Did you do things that you later realized were wrong? That, to me, is what's happening here. If I were 12 and started talking to Justine, I guess, there weren't a lot of YouTubers when I was 12, but if Justine and I started flirting and I sent her a photo of my dick and she sent a photo of her pussy back, that would be a closed case faster than she could say, I'm relevant and no one understands why. People can blame Jerica all they want, but simply put, Kiwi should have known better, an opinion he actually agrees to.
This is a mistake. This isn't something that, like, if anybody out there is thinking about sending pictures or whatever, don't do it. Like, it's not worth it.
And then we get a surprise that Keem somehow doesn't capitalize on.
She said she was 14. She lied.
I
Jerica,
did not lie, you idiot.
Jerica, you did.
Jonathan, I didn't.
Jerica, I swear to God you did. You lied. You know you did.
I know I didn't. You're just trying to defend yourself in the most stupid way possible.
I swear to God.
All right, ladies and
Where
gentlemen.
to, God?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave it here.
Are you fucking serious? You're not even gonna, like, push that? Ask about it even a bit? No? That info just doesn't seem relevant to you. Okay, well, if true, that literally throws all of Kiwi's possible backing out the window, so whatever. I unfortunately have no follow-up for this. This hasn't been expanded on by anybody, so let's move on, I guess? Now, in the aftermath of this Drama Alert episode, Kiwi released his own video titled My Story, where he explains his side again. This video honestly floors me because almost immediately Kiwi starts victim blaming. Like, no joke, first 30 seconds.
These things happen. Like, people fuck up. Like, teenagers are stupid, man. And I fucked up being, it was really irresponsible. I shouldn't have trusted this girl. I shouldn't have. I don't know why I did what I did. She convinced me that I could trust her, and it was a mistake.
Are you insane? Seriously, are you insane? I shouldn't have trusted this girl. Motherfucker, she is 14. She was 12. How the fuck can you blame this on her? You keep saying teenagers are stupid, but you were 17 when most of this shit went down. That's very nearly a legal adult. Meanwhile, she wasn't even a teenager yet. Oh my God, how did people buy into this? Moving on.
And that's something I will never make ever again. But That's besides the point.
Very sly, Kiwi. Trying to brush off your victim blaming is beside the point when it's all you've spent the last several seconds doing. He continues on to thank a bunch of non-specific YouTubers for supporting him, mentions again that he's not a pedophile because she lied about her age, a fact which has been brought into question but not explored, thanks a lot Keemstar, and then says she convinced him to send her naked pictures of himself. I'm fucking done. Regardless of who convinced who, you did it. Stop blaming her. She did not take a photo of your cock and send it to herself to frame you. You took the picture. Take the responsibility too, man.
Like, she sent pictures to me too, but it was a group effort. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just like, there was no harassment.
We're victim blaming. She's still not the adult here. Hi there, dead horse, meet stick.
It was all consent.
She can't consent, you twit! Assuming she did lie about her age, she was still 2 years shy of the legal age of consent in most states. You can't fucking use this as an excuse.
The drama alert video was not good for me. It looks horrible for me. There was 4 people in that call that were against me. Keemstar was on the fence.
I briefly touched on this earlier, but I will actually give Kiwi credit here. That call was certainly overloaded and certainly unbalanced. Made it very hard to find any middle ground. As for the Keemstar on the fence comment, I have to assume that Kiwi has absolutely no idea what that phrase means.
I was literally having like an anxiety attack before going into that call.
And just like that, not 20 seconds later, he loses the credit. He was not having an anxiety attack. I myself have actual anxiety attacks, and I have numerous friends who have anxiety attacks. Real anxiety attacks. If he were having an anxiety attack, he would have been having a lot more trouble breathing, let alone speaking. You cannot mask an anxiety attack as calm and collected as he did. Let me show you what an anxiety attack actually looks like.
She said, Dad, she said, you need to get back to work.
Now, anxiety attacks aren't the same for everyone, but those problems with breathing and speaking are pretty goddamn universal, and he was exhibiting none of those. It's bad enough that he's blaming a child for his crime, but for fuck's sake, he needs to stop blaming a condition he doesn't have for it as well.
I didn't know what was gonna happen. Is my YouTube career ruined?
And there it is, folks. That is the line that made me want to make this. This shows you so much about where his head is. He's considerably more focused on the impact this will have on him and his career than anything else.
I owned up to it, I apologized to the mother, and you know, that's the best I can do.
Except right now, he's making a video trying to justify everything he did instead of owning up to it like he just claims to have done. He goes on for about a minute, recapping literally everything he said on Drama Alert, and using almost the exact same verbiage to boot. And then more victim blaming. Woohoo!
And she said, there's nothing to worry about. Like, you don't have to worry about anything. That I can trust her, that nothing like this would ever happen, and here we are.
Are you fucking kidding me? Do you hear the anger in his voice? Guys, come on. The internet saw through the Fine Bros bullshit apology, but are we really eating this garbage up? How is that even possible? The Fine Bros just wanted to do a shitty business practice and they lost 500,000 subscribers for it. This guy is only grown and he sent pictures of his cock to a kid.
I'm sure there's tons of you out there that have done this before.
This is seriously your justification, dude. Other people have done this illegal activity, therefore it's fine. Unfucking believable. After that, he alternates between begging for sympathy, playing the hero, and blaming Jerica some more. Up until this.
And then she started switching up the tone of the conversation. She started flirting with me again, and one thing led to another. She ended up sending me more pictures. And that's when she asked for a picture of me over Snapchat, and because I didn't think anything of it.
He didn't think anything of being a 19-year-old sending his dick to a, let's give him benefit of the doubt, a 16-year-old? So what we can gather from that statement is that he's an idiot.
Do not fucking do what I did. Don't be an idiot.
Oh, good, he agrees.
You do not understand the amount of stress and the amount of pressure I have been under the past 24 hours. You guys do not know. It's something, it's undescribable. I know that's no excuse.
Clearly you don't.
And there's a whole second side to this story about Nuda that I want to talk about. And a lot of you are like wondering why Nuda would do this, why he would get this girl to go on Drama Alert. Honestly, I don't know why he would do this.
Because what you did was wrong, you dumb idiot. He spends the next minute trying to blame Nuda for all of this, essentially. There's really nothing of substance.
I don't know why you hate me. I literally have never done anything to you. And yet you continue to fucking beat me down like this. Like, what the fuck is this, dude? Like, what is going on, dude? I called you my friend, bro. Bottom line is, Nuda, I want to talk to you in private. I want to know what's going on. You don't even have to be friends with me, dude. I want this to end. I want you to just leave me alone, dude.
In 10 seconds, it goes from "can we talk in private" to "leave me alone." Okay. The rest of the video is more sympathy gathering and repetition. So in summary, what have we learned? A child is to blame for all of this. Kiwi is an idiot, but also a hero. Nuda is Adolf Hitler incarnate. So how did the internet react to this video? Were they mad? No! They started harassing Jerrica and tweeting out her fucking nudes.
With people tweeting out Jerrica's nudes right now, and with her in my DM saying, I'm gonna commit suicide, saying that she is depressed to the point where she wants to end her life. There's a 14-year-old girl in my direct messages right now who is bullied to the point where she's gonna end her fucking life. She is close to the point where she wants to end her life because of the harassment she's getting online.
That's straight from Nuda. That video is largely just Nuda trying to defend himself from the completely undeserved attacks he's received. And do you know how people responded to this? Look at these fucking comments. Jesus fucking Christ. A couple days later, Kiwi decides that his best option is to upload another video, simply titled "Thank You." This, as I stated in the intro, is actually the reason I decided I needed to make this video. So let's dig into it.
I haven't uploaded in a couple days. I haven't really tweeted. I haven't really done anything because I kind of wanted this whole thing to just kind of blow over.
Well, even though that's an astoundingly scummy thing to say, I can actually understand this outlook. I mean, why wouldn't he want it to blow it over? Except... Streisand effect, you dits! I've discussed this in detail. This thank you video drew attention back to you. This thank you video is the reason the video you're currently watching even exists. I wasn't gonna talk about this. I mean, fuck, man. If you want something to blow over, you shut your stupid mouth about it. That's all there is to it.
I was going through a lot of anxiety. I was going through a lot of depression. Same with everybody involved.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Fuck you! He does not get to do this. He does not get to trivialize anxiety and depression, which are actual mental illnesses, just to get fucking sympathy points. But he did it, and like fucking clockwork, people bought it. Again.
And everybody just got a lot of hate through the whole situation. Everybody did. Even Keemstar. And a lot of people could say that Keemstar benefited off of this, but I'm going to be honest, everybody kind of got a ton of shit. And that's not good.
I agree with this. It's not good. Nuda and Keemstar deserved absolutely no shit for this, and yet somehow they got the brunt of it, especially Nuda. But Kiwi deserves every single iota of hate he received. Now that is not me encouraging you to go brigade his channel. Please, for the love of God, don't go brigade his channel saying I sent you. I want none of that. But he does deserve what he's gotten.
I just want to tell you guys that the situation is resolved. Everything is done. There's nothing to worry about. The situation is over. It was over like 3 days ago.
I'm sorry, did I miss something? I've gone through damn near everything that's come out about this, and I'm failing to see how it's over at all. Kiwi isn't in prison or getting fined or anything, so how is it? Okay, whatever.
The investigation is going nowhere.
I'm not going to speak on anybody's behalf because that's not my place. Even Nuda was going through a tough time.
He continues by repeating that everything is fine and that he'll be returning to regular videos in the near future, but not before repeating that he's
still going through a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression.
Shut up! Look, I could go on for hours about why him using these two words over and over is driving me up a fucking wall, but this video is already getting long. Instead, I'll link a video by my good friend Herotic in the description that talks more about depression and the overuse of the word. You should definitely check that out. He does not have me at gunpoint.
I just wanted to thank you. You. Literally you.
Oh. I highly doubt you want to thank me, Kiwi.
There's actually been a lot of people that have came forward to me these past couple of days with stories with the girl and about, you know, what happened with them and how I don't really want to bring this back up at how she lied about her age. A lot of people have came forward and, you know, the whole thing is resolved now. It's over.
And notice how Kiwi is no longer referring to Jerrica by name. She's now simply the girl. I have to admit, that's a pretty clever way to detach this whole story from another person and even dehumanize Jerrica to some extent. As for the rest of that clip, allow me to translate in case you don't speak bullshit. It's entirely Jerrica's fault, but thanks, and also stop talking about it, please. I need my YouTube revenue.
And I especially want to thank all of the really big YouTubers out there that supported me and gave me advice. There were so many of you. I was literally shocked at how many of you guys
reached out to me, like the really big YouTubers, like the big kahunas.
You just spent nearly 20 seconds talking about support from big YouTubers without naming any of them, explicitly to try to manipulate people into bandwagoning and saying, oh hey, he's not so bad after all if these big YouTubers support him. And then immediately after, back to how bad it's been for him.
You guys do not understand. I've been going through a fuck ton.
Who fucking cares?
And I'm so glad that everybody's starting to just relax and everything. We can all move on now. And I think this story blew way out of proportion.
We can't, and it didn't. In fact, this story blew up noticeably less than it should have, considering that I appear to be the only one who's still concerned by it. He continues to say that he and Nuda talked in a Skype call and that they
just kind of explained, whatever.
No, what? I don't know. What is he talking about? I guess they're on good terms, apparently, and he makes sure to hammer home that
everything is good to go. Everything it's resolved, it's relaxed, there's no situation anymore to worry about. I can resume back to my life, Nuda can resume back to his, the girl, Keemstar.
He's still just calling her the girl. He names everyone else involved in the situation except the person who is literally the only other reason, beside Kiwi, that there is a situation. And said situation is so very far from resolved. He spends the remaining minute and a half thanking a bunch of people and then plays hero by saying that people shouldn't send out any harassment. Now don't get me wrong, I agree. I don't think anyone deserves harassment in any circumstance, but the way Kiwi follows this up sounds more like a don't talk about this ever again rather than a don't harass people.
Sending a tweet out to anybody, that shit adds up and it really takes a toll on someone's brain and their head. Like just let it go. Everybody is healing from this, and it's good that we can all now move on and we can continue our lives.
I'm willing to acknowledge and admit that I might be reading into this too much, but you don't usually say let it go when it comes to harassment. You would say something along the lines of don't do it, or stop, or something similar. Again, I could definitely be reading into that, and he may have meant don't do it, but based on his tone throughout all of these videos, I'm not fully convinced. When all this is said and done, the fact remains. Kiwi is a legal adult who sent a picture of his dick to a girl under the age of legal consent. There is no scenario in which this should be considered okay, and there is no scenario in which he should be getting away with this legally, let alone getting away with it with his YouTube career intact, because we know he's very concerned about that. Now, I'm aware of the fact that some of you that may come across this video will be fans of Kiwi and will likely not hear me out before clicking dislike, but for those of you who listened all the way to the end, do you see how wrong this is? How wrong Kiwi has gone about this from the first moment he spoke on it? If not, I don't think anything shy of his imprisonment would convince you, but if nothing else, maybe think past what Kiwi has fed you. After all, he's the one with the most stake in being perceived as innocent. So when all's said and done, do I think Kiwi is a pedophile?
Yes.
So how's Kiwi gonna fuck? How is Kiwi gonna fuck? Apparently a 14-year-old.